माननीय सभासदों, माननीय उप सभापति जी,
आप ही की तरफ देख रहा था। माननीय श्री संजय कुमार झा जी, further discussion on the motion for consideration of the protection of interest in aircraft objects bill 2025 moved by Shri K. Ram Mohan Naidu on 20th March 2025.
आदरणीय उपसभापति महोदय, ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट बिल है एयरक्राफ्ट ऑब्जेक्ट बिल 2025। वो इसलिए भी कि इतना सारा एयरलाइन है कंट्री में, एक परसेप्शन है कि सब लोग जहाज खरीद के ही लाते हैं। करीब 90% जो एयरक्राफ्ट है वो लीज पे लिया जाता है। इसका मतलब है कि एयरलाइंस के पास अपने अधिकांश विमान नहीं होते हैं, वे इन विमानों को लीज कंपनियों से किराया पर लेती है, जो अक्सर आयरलैंड, हांगकांग, दुबई और सिंगापुर जैसे देशों से ये लीज पे लेके आते हैं एयरक्राफ्ट को। और वो सही भी है, राइट रीजन भी है। हवाई जहाज खरीदना एक बहुत बड़ा वित्तीय निर्णय है। यह एयरलाइंस के लिए एक चैलेंजिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है, जैसे कि एयरबस 320, बोइंग 777, 787 और 737 की कीमत 700 करोड़ से 1100 करोड़ रुपया तक होता है। बहुत सारा एयरलाइन यहाँ बंद हो गया, स्टार्ट किया और फिर जाकर के बंद हो गया। अब तो 2 ही एयरलाइन है मेजर, 60% से ज़्यादा शेयर एक एयरलाइन के पास है और एक एयर इंडिया है इंडिगो के अलावा। लार्जली वही पूरा मार्केट को लेके चलता है और लीजिंग एयरलाइन के लिए एक बेहतर विकल्प होता है, क्योंकि इसमें प्राइमरी इन्वेस्टमेंट से बचने में सहायता होता है। और जो गिफ्ट सिटी विमान लीजिंग कंपनियों को 10 साल की कर की छूट देती है, जो भी गिफ्ट सिटी गुजरात में आया है। और डीजीसीए ने गिफ्ट सिटी में रजिस्टर्ड लीजरों को विमान लीज पर लेने या इंपोर्ट करने से पहले प्रायर अप्रूवल देने में से छूट दी है। टू सम एक्सटेंट दिस हैज वर्कड सिंस 2019। मोर देन 26 एयरक्राफ्ट लीजिंग entities, including some global players, have been registered there. However, only a handful of these established entities have actually engaged in leasing transaction. लेकिन अब सरकार इस स्थिति को बदलना चाहती है ताकि भारत का विमान लीजिंग क्षेत्र वैश्विक मानकों का अनुरूप और निवेशकों के लिए आकर्षक बन सके। This bill gives lessors something they have wanted for years. लीजरों का सबसे बड़ा डर ये था कि अगर वो किसी एयरलाइन को विमान किराए पर देते हैं, वो एयरलाइन दिवालिया हो जाए, तो बहुत लंबा टाइम लग जाता था उनको उसको ये करने के लिए, उसको वहाँ से निकालने के लिए और अपने विमान को वापस पाने के लिए वो लीगल बैटल बड़ा लंबा होता था। जैसा पहले किंगफिशर, जेट एयरवेज और गो फर्स्ट एयरलाइन के मामले में हुआ, लीजर अपने विमानों को वापस नहीं ले पाए और इंसॉल्वेंसी ट्रिब्यूनल ने, हम लोग देखते थे एयरपोर्ट पर लाइन से लगा हुआ प्लेन खड़ा रहता था वहाँ पर, क्योंकि इसलिए कि वो ट्रिब्यूनल में जाते थे और लंबे समय तक वो फैसला नहीं होता था। इस नए विधेयक आने से अगर कोई एयरलाइन डिफॉल्ट करती है तो लीजर केवल 2 महीने में भीतर अपना विमान वापस ले सकता है। इसके अलावा किसी भी विवाद को ट्रिब्यूनल नहीं जा करके सीधे हाई कोर्ट भी जा सकता है। इसके अलावा एक जो इम्पोर्टेंट इसमें इशू रह गया था वो कि लीजिंग के मदद से एयरलाइन एक बड़े कर्ज से बचती है और लीजिंग व्यापार का एक वैश्विक आकार बहुत बड़ा हो गया। जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि इंडिया में भी 90% प्लेन लीज पे लिया हुआ है, खरीदा कम गया है। 6 साल पहले 2019 के बजट भाषण में फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने विमान लीजिंग उद्योग में प्रवेश की घोषणा की थी और यह कदम भारतीय एयरलाइन के लिए एक बेहतरीन अवसर है। अब उन्हें विमान लीज पर लेने के लिए दूसरों देशों पर निर्भर नहीं रहना पड़ेगा, जैसे कि 3-4 जो कंट्री है जहां से लीज लेके आता है। अब भारत में भी एयरलाइन अपने घरेलू विमान लीजिंग बाजार से विमान ले सकती है, जिससे उन्हें लागत में कमी और अधिक स्वतंत्रता मिलेगी। इसके अलावा जो नए विधेयक हैं अगर इस वजह से, क्योंकि यहाँ पर ये फैसिलिटी नहीं था, इसलिए पिछले साल यूनाइटेड किंगडम के स्थित है एविएशन वर्किंग ग्रुप AWG ने लीजरों के लिए कम सुरक्षा के कारण भारत की रेटिंग को हाई रिस्क में डाउनग्रेड कर दिया था। इसका असर वह हुआ कि भारतीय एयरलाइन के लिए लीजिंग करना बहुत महंगा हो गया और अब विधेयक लागू होने के साथ जो AWG ने भारत की रेटिंग को मीडियम रिस्क जुरिडिक्शन में फिर से अपग्रेड कर दिया है और यह विधेयक कानून बन गया तो भारत की रेटिंग और भी बेटर हो जाएगी। लेकिन एक बात मैं मंत्री जी से जरूर कहना चाहूंगा कि दीज ग्लोबल लीजिंग कंपनीज सर्वाइव ऑन द सपोर्ट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन। फॉर इंस्टेंस, यूरोपियन बैंक सपोर्ट लीजिंग बिजनेस इन आयरलैंड। सिमिलरली, द गवर्नमेंट ओन टेम्सेक होल्डिंग एंड सिंगापुरियन बैंक सपोर्ट लीजिंग फर्म सिंगापुर। भारत में इस तरह का कोई प्रावधान नहीं है क्योंकि बैंक विमानन से जुड़ी किसी भी चीज को लोन देने में रिलक्टेंट रहता है। इसका परिणाम यह है कि गिफ्ट सिटी में काम कर रहे लेसर को भी विदेशी फंडिंग पर निर्भर करना पड़ता है। तो जरूर इस पर विचार करना चाहिए कि फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन अगर सपोर्ट कर सकता है तो। और 1 मिनट में, क्योंकि ये तो टेक्निकल बात जो आप बिल ला रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं बिहार से आता हूं और 3 इशू आपका वहां बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। एक, इस बार के बजट में ही आदरणीय वित्त मंत्री जी ने एक ग्रीनफील्ड इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पटना के पास अनाउंस किया है, तो उसको जो भी उसका लोकेशन है उसको तत्काल अगर फाइनल करके उस पर काम शुरू हो जाता तो बिहार में कोई भी आदरणीय उपसभापति महोदय कोई भी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट नहीं है भी गया में, तो उस हिसाब से फंक्शनल नहीं है। पटना के पास तो है ही नहीं, उतना बड़ा रनवे ही नहीं है। एक ये था, एक दरभंगा और पूर्णिया दोनों एयरपोर्ट एक साथ अनाउंस हुआ। दरभंगा फंक्शनल है, पूर्णिया अभी तक फंक्शनल नहीं हो पाया, तो वो भी एक फंक्शनल हो जाता। एंड लास्ट, दरभंगा एयरपोर्ट एक सक्सेसफुल एयरपोर्ट है। हम लोगों ने, मुख्यमंत्री जी ने वहाँ और लैंड एक्वायर करने का काम शुरू कर दिया है और वहाँ से प्रपोजल भी आया है चीफ सेक्रेटरी से कि उसको इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट बना देने के लिए दरभंगा को, तो उस पर भी अगर कोई विचार करके फाइनल कर देते तो ठीक रहता। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
श्री सदानंद महालू, सेठ तानवड़े।
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. I stand before this House today to extend my support for the protection of interest in aircraft bill, Object Bill 2025, and to emphasize its significance of India's aviation sector. Sir, this bill seeks to provide legal backing to the Convention of International Interest in Mobile Equipment, Cape Town Convention 2001, and its protocol on matters specific to aircraft equipment, ensuring their enforceability within our jurisdiction. Sir, here I would like to add that while India signed the Cape Town Convention in 2008, the absence of ratification has so far prevented its provision from being legally binding. Therefore, the introduction of this bill will legally enact the Cape Town Convention in India. It marks a crucial step toward addressing this gap, strengthening investor confidence, and enhancing India's global standing in the aviation sector. As one of the world's largest growing aviation markets, India's air travel sector has experienced a rapid increasing growth with an estimated market size of $13.89 billion in 2024, which is expected to reach $26.8 billion by 2030. This incredible growth, aircraft leasing has emerged as an important aspect of the Indian aviation industry. It is a practice in which the airlines and aviation operators rent aircraft from leasing companies rather than purchasing them. Till date, India does not have any specific law dealing with aircraft leasing and financing of airplanes, which may involve different countries. With this new law, airplanes will get in competitive rate to airlines and aviation operation. Currently, lessors face higher risk in India due to uncertainties in repossession rights in case an airline defaults on payment. The risk forces lessors to change a higher risk premium, extra cost to cover potential losses, making leasing more expensive for Indian airlines. These higher leasing costs are ultimately passed on to passengers in the form of higher airfares. So air tickets become more costly. Passengers has to pay more fares. Therefore, if the bill is passed in the Parliament into an act, will ratify the Cape Town Convention, thereby automatically guaranteeing the rights of lessor to repossess their leased equipment, such as airframes, aircraft engines, and helicopters. This will bring down the cost of risk premium. Sir, this bill seeks to enhance the leasing framework in India in power with international standard, and through this the legislation is expected to lower cost, improve accessibility to air travel, and attract investment as India anticipates a surge in aircraft acquisition. Over 1,000 new craft by the end of this decade. This will further make air travel more affordable for the people of our country. Sir, as a representative from Goa, a tourist destination, which sees increasing footfall each year, I cannot overstate the importance of the bill. During peak season, we all know that airfares skyrocket, making travel unaffordable not only for tourists, but also for Goa's local residents who rely on air travel for work, medical needs, education, and family visits. I believe, sir, the high cost of leasing aircraft, along with limited availability, directly contributes to these inflated airfares. Sir, I am an essential aspect of this bill is its provision for financial transparency and accountability. The proposed legislation mandates that debtors must maintain and submit records of dues related to the ownership or use an aircraft or aircraft object to the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. This requirement will ensure that leasing transactions remain transparent, preventing dispute over unpaid dues and fostering greater confidence among lessors, creditors, and regulatory bodies. Sir, after 2014, after Modi government came to power, the civil aviation has changed more development in civil aviation. Airports, अगर हम देखें तो the total number of airports in India 74 2014 से पहले थे, अभी 159 airport पूरा देश में बने हैं. हमारा गोवा is very small with a population of around 16-17 lakhs. गोवा में 2 एयरपोर्ट है, नॉर्थ गोवा में अलग है, साउथ गोवा में भी अलग है. पैसेंजर अगर ग्रोथ हम देखें तो पैसेंजर ड्यूरिंग अप टू जनवरी 2024 टू डिसम्बर 2024 161 million as against 152 million during the previous year. That is a growth of 6.1 million%. Total aircraft for scheduled operation has increased from 400 in 2014 to 836 as on 28 to 2025. Regional Connectivity Service, that is RCS Udan, Uda Desh Ka Nagrik. Air travel becomes more accessible to people, connecting 88 airlines, including 13 helicopters and 2 water aerodrome. More than 148.62 lakhs people has availed benefit of Udan scheme since its inception. कृषि में उड़ान में अगर देखें तो जो टोटल एग्रीकल्चर जो प्रोडक्शन जो वेस्ट होता है, इसके लिए कृषि उद्यान के माध्यम से ये फैसिलिटी एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए की है और उसका भी फायदा देश के फार्मर के लिए हो रहा है. ऑपरेशन गंगा के माध्यम से हमने देखा कि जब यूक्रेन का युद्ध हुआ तो 22,500 इंडियंस नेशनल were safely rescued from Ukraine by operating 90 evacuation flights from 1st February 2022 to 11th March 2022. अगर डिगी यात्रा में हम देखें तो फेशियल रिकॉग्निशन टेक्नोलॉजी, इस माध्यम से एनी ट्रैवलर में पास थ्रू वेरियस चेक पॉइंट्स ऑफ द एयरपोर्ट थ्रू पेपरलेस एंड कॉन्टैक्टलेस प्रोसेसिंग यूजिंग फेशियल फीचर्स टू एस्टैब्लिश द आइडेंटिटी. और देश के 24 एयरपोर्ट्स पे ये फैसिलिटी उपलब्ध की है. मुझे गर्व है कि गोवा का हमारा जो मोपा इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है वो एयरपोर्ट पे भी ये फैसिलिटी दी गई है. लीजिंग ऑफ एयरक्राफ्ट हमने देखा तो विद द एनेबल्स इन प्लेस फ्रॉम जीरो बेज इन 2014 एज ऑफ 31 December 2024 33 एयरक्राफ्ट लीजिंग एंटिटीज हैव रजिस्टर्ड इन गिफ्ट IFSC for undertaking aircraft leasing business. इसमें कार्गो का अगर हम देखें, कार्गो में भी काफ़ी सुधार और ज़्यादा बिजनेस जो है वो कार्गो में भी हो रहा है. इंडिया री इलेक्शन ICAO काउंसिल में जो इंडिया ड्यूरिंग 41st जनरल असेंबली ऑफ ICAO, India has been re-elected to the ICAO Council 2022-25 under Part 2, comprising of countries which make the largest contribution to the provision of facilities for international civil air navigation. Ease of doing, जो भारतीय वायुयान विधेयक पास होने के बाद ये रिफॉर्म हुआ है, लेजिस्लेचर रिफॉर्म होने हुआ है और मॉडर्नाइजिंग इंडियाज एविएशन सेक्टर में भी काफ़ी सुधार हुआ है. और इसके लिए अगर हम देखें सर कि ये बिल जो है, ये बिल इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिल. इसके लिए मैं हमारे मंत्री जी को भी अभिनंदन करता हूँ और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ. और सर, ऑल ऑफ दिस टेल अस हाउ meritorious this bill is. It will provide the much needed statutory framework to deal with the legal obstacles in the event of insolvency of an airline company, as well as make aviation financing and leasing transactions simpler and certain. It will further improve contract and enforceability and provide the creditors, lessors, with a way out to either to take back the aircraft objects or have their dues paid. Therefore, I support the bill of the Aircraft Object 2025. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद. श्री संतोष कुमार P.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Sir, since we are a signatory to an important international convention, we have to follow the same and we have to implement it in our country. And we have to protect the interests of passengers, creditors, and all those stakeholders related to the industry. Sir, I take this opportunity to raise a few questions, queries through you, sir, to the Minister. The first thing is that do we have any data related to the total credits of Indian investors, I mean banks and other financial institutions? Now we are talking about an international obligation. Yes, of course, we have to implement the same. But the point is that we know one gentleman who was a member of this August House, who came to the House with the support of a former Prime Minister and who was the leader of that party for some time. Later on, he looted our country and its people, and now somewhere in London. People like Malya and others are there. So what about the liability created by these people? Are we going to solve this? When we talk about international issues and international creditors, are we in a position to help our banks to regain its own money? It's a very serious issue. So my request is that we have to reconsider the criteria, because people will come and offer that we are ready to offer airline business, and the government is allowing without understanding their capacity. Then later on we have to pay the price for it. So please consider this particular point. So secondly, Civil Aviation Ministry is having a very meager amount as budget allocation comparing other ministries. So now the Civil Aviation Minister, Department, Director General of this aviation will function more. There are many duties assigned to him. So do you think that with this limited amount, performance is proper, you can perform proper? I don't think so. So we need to enhance the budgetary allocation also. Otherwise, the entire area is left for private players only. Airline routes, price, everything as suggested but pointed out to many speakers, is under the control of private players only. The Aviation Ministry is in a way a mute spectator. So it cannot dictate any company. For example, now when we talk about the plight of the passengers, I fear tomorrow the private airlines may charge us for even using washrooms. Now they are charging for seats. Tomorrow there is every chance of taking money from us for using washrooms. So this is the sorry state of affairs of the poor passengers. So how you are going to tackle these types of issues? When we all are in agreement of implementing the international convention, we have to take care of this. Finally, sir, whenever we people from Kerala stand up to talk on this Civil Aviation Ministry, the minister thinks that they will raise the issues related to Kannur International Airport. I don't want to talk much about that. So many people, so many organizations, so many politicians, already pointed out the issues related to Kannur International Airport. It's public money, people's money, so political consideration should not be there. We have every right to get it. So please give this point of call status to Kannur International Airport. Thank you.
Thank you. Sri Babu Ram Nishad. Sri Babu Ram Nishad. Anupasthit. Sri A. Rahim.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the bill seeks to provide a legal framework for protecting the rights of lessors and financiers in aircraft transactions. However, this bill should be discussed in the broader perspective of how it affects the lives of common people. Sir, the union government has already opened the Indian aviation sector to Indian corporates. My colleague, Comrade P. Santosh Kumar, already mentioned the same here. Now, through this bill, it is further opening the doors for international corporates as well, sir. That is my concern. The minister must clarify how this bill is going to benefit the common people. Air travel is becoming increasingly inaccessible for the ordinary citizens. That is my concern. That is not only my concern. So many of my colleagues already mentioned the same concern in this House. A study by Airports Council International, ACI, reveals that India has recorded the second highest increase in domestic airfares in the Asia Pacific and West Asian regions. So, what the take of the government in this regard? See, 43% of rising in terms of fare, according to this report. Can you imagine the plight of expertise in the Gulf region? As you know that we are representing Kerala, a lot of our brothers and sisters have been working over there. Actually, can you imagine the plight of those NRIs? They work there throughout the year and only occasionally get a leave, sir. This is yesterday was the Eid day, the Holy Ramadan day, the Eid day, even in Onam, and so many other events. In connection with those events, they can come to their homeland, come back to their homeland. But unfortunately, the NRIs, the Pravasis can't come even yet they get the leave. Even they get the leaves, they can't come due to the exorbitant hike of the travel fare. So, Comrade Santosh already mentioned here, what is the role of the union government? Sir, just a minute, sir. I have time. Sir, can you imagine the plight of these passengers? Another one thing is that the government is making laws that favor of corporates. But where are the policies that protect the interest of common citizens? Sir, I would like to flag just a minute, sir. Flag an important report of Department Related Standing Committee, 356th Department of Standing Committee, Transport, Tourism and Culture, recommended measures to control airfare and make air travel accessible to the common man. What is the government role? What is the government take? Then another one thing is that regarding the Kannur Airport, International Airport, this is a burning issue from the Kerala. So, you given the point of call status to Mopa Airport in Goa, which is a non-metro airport. But all infrastructure is there. But even though they did not give the point of call status for Kannur International Airport.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Honorable Minister, please look into it. Please.
Sri Harish Viran.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Sir, this legislation is a very necessary legislation. I agree to that fact. It will bring clarity for the international lessors and all as to if there is a default, what is to be done. But let us understand that this particular legislation has been brought about not because of any foresight, but because under the pressure of crisis, triggered by the insolvency of a lot of airlines, the latest being the Go First Airlines, plus the global downgrade of India's aviation leasing environment. Now, sir, I would like, through you, sir, the Honourable Minister, to particularly note 2 points. First point is, sir, as per Section 9 of the bill, Section 9 states that in case of any inconsistency between a provision of this Act and any other law for the time being in force, the provisions of this Act shall prevail to the extent of such inconsistency. Now, sir, this bill, in fact, has been brought about because of certain provisions of the IBC, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Because once there is insolvency and bankruptcy court proceedings, then a moratorium creeps in, and once the moratorium is there, you won't be able to take your machines out. Now, but problem is about the IBC code. There is a provision under the IBC code, Section 238. Section 238 of the IBC code says, the provisions of this code shall have effect, notwithstanding anything inconsistent therewith contained in any other law for the time being in force, or any instrument having effect by virtue of any such law. So IBC code says, notwithstanding any other law, the IBC will prevail. Our law, Section 9 in the present bill, states that notwithstanding any other law, our law will prevail. Now, our law has been brought in because of the provisions of the IBC. Therefore, I think there is some inconsistency between the provisions of our bill and the IBC. My suggestion will be that you can incorporate in Section 9 of our bill that notwithstanding anything contained in IBC specifically, so that this particular inconsistency you can get over. That is my suggestion. To the Honourable Minister. Now, sir, Section 9(3) of the bill, it preserves India's sovereign right to arrest or detain an aircraft, which is a very welcome change. But I urge the government to clarify how in practice this right will be exercised in the face of aggressive international enforcement by lessors. While Indian public sector dues and the claims of airport operators and employees receive equal priority and swift resolution, or will they be left struggling while aircraft are swiftly deregistered and removed from Indian soil? Sir, this particular legislation is in fact for the purpose for the airline industry to prosper. Now, for the airline industry to prosper, our airports also will have to prosper. Sir, in Kerala, there are 2 airports. One is the Calicut airport, sir. Now, it is a time for the Hajj pilgrims to go for Hajj. The difference between the Calicut International Airport and Kannur, which is just 80 kilometers, is 40,000 rupees. You are charging 40,000 more from the Calicut Airport. Calicut Airport is the place where you have the Hajj embarkation point, Hajj terminal. Just 30 seconds, sir. Just 30 seconds. Hajj terminal, everything. Now, this particular inconsistency is because you are not allowing the wide-bodied aircrafts to land in Calicut Airport. So also the problem with the Kannur Airport is that you can land wide-bodied aircraft. The problem is that you don't give point of call status over there. So if you want the airline industry to prosper over there, along with these legislations, I beseech the Honourable Minister through you, sir, that these measures also be taken. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.